breaking news as it happens. Stay up to date with your trusted and relevant source in news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It is 10:01 and 62 degrees in Milwaukee. Mostly sunny skies today, but you will notice some smoke and haze. There's an air quality alert in effect until noon today for all of southeastern Wisconsin. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Jessica Ty. Testimony has resumed in the Maxwell Anderson trial this morning. Anderson is accused of murdering and dismembering Shade Robinson after a first date in Milwaukee in April 2024. Both sides are focusing on whether Anderson had a history of abusive relationships. The jury was briefly excused this morning to allow for a sidebar discussion. Judge Laura Crivello.
I am going to find that the defense has opened the door by putting in play the character evidence of the defendants because it is an essential element of their defense. I'm not going to allow the state to go into the emotional abuse. I think that that's at a different level than what's already been indicated here, and I think that that would create a whole separate issue.
You can follow the trial live right now on our website, WTMJ.com. Challenges getting to school in Waukesha this morning after the local bus company got robbed.
Several routes were either delayed or canceled Thursday morning after roughly 20 catalytic converters were stolen from the first student bus slot in Waukesha overnight. The thefts were discovered early Thursday morning, right before buses were set to get on the roads picking up students. The school district has informed parents that routes were expected to be either canceled or delayed today and are now working with families to arrange for alternate transportation. First student has not commented on the thefts. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
Authorities in Washington state continue searching for Travis Decker today, the Pewaukee native accused of killing his 3 young daughters near a campground earlier this week. Chelan County Sheriff Mike Morrison says they're searching a wide area to find Decker.
We're optimistic that with our air units up in the sky, looking over the terrain, is definitely diverse when you're talking about the amount of acreage that we're covering, that we're doing the best we can.
Autopsy results on the girls could come as soon as today. President Donald Trump is set to meet with the new German chancellor at the White House today. A wide range of topics will be discussed.
On the agenda for President Trump's meeting today with German Chancellor Merz, defense spending, trade, Russia's war in Ukraine, and what the White House calls, quote, democratic backsliding in Europe. The White House says the European Union needs to make a meaningful offer to the U.S. that addresses longstanding trade barriers. The meeting today with the German leader comes after the president has threatened 50% tariffs on the EU, and the clock is ticking for deals to be reached before the July 9th deadline when reciprocal tariffs would go back into effect. Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
Thousands of gallons of diesel fuel has spilled into Baltimore's Inner Harbor, and right now there is an all-out effort to keep this from becoming an even bigger ecological disaster.
First it was hundreds, now at least 2,000 gallons of diesel that have leaked into the water there, and crews have been working nonstop since yesterday to contain it.
This could have been far, far worse than what it was.
Baltimore City Fire Chief James Wallace is the incident commander.
We've since then located where we believe the leak occurred.
Now they're pushing the fuel into a containment zone in the harbor so it can be captured. A bigger disaster will be avoided if it doesn't rain.
We're absolutely on schedule.
John Doman for CBS News, Washington.
Time for news about your money. Here's the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. We are looking good on Wall Street on this Thursday morning. The Dow is up almost 66 points to 42,493. S&P 500 is up 15 points to 5,985. And the NASDAQ is up nearly 91 points to 19,551. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth. Annex Private Client. Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 10:05.
Can you believe a house built in 2000 was 25 years ago? Did you know the average builder grade window only lasts 10 to 15 years? If you have the 1990s wood-clad windows or the builder grade 2000 vinyl windows, then it's time for an upgrade. Triple pane windows and full frame installs are what we do at Abbey Home. With finished carpenters as installers, you get the quality install you deserve and customized solutions for your home. Right now, buy 2 windows, get 2 free with Abbey Home. And if somebody asks you if you know a guy in the business, you can say no, but I know a girl.
Looking for a totally rad flavor adventure, brochachos? Look no further than Surfer Boy Pizza as seen in Stranger Things. Each mouth-watering variety contains rich tomato sauce, delicious mozzarella cheese, and a gnarly range of toppings. The crust is crispy on the outside and airy on the inside. You'll think it was hand-tossed by the Surfer Boy Pizza dudes themselves. Look for it in the freezer aisle at your local store and buckle up your taste buds with Surfer Boy Pizza.
The other day I received a call from a customer who had these beautiful old tables that at one time were covered with glass tops. But one day a coffee mug dropped, and just like that, those beautiful tables went right into retirement. You know how it goes. Once a glass top of a set of tables breaks, they go into the basement or the garage and do a great job at collecting dust. The customer never knew who could help, but when she asked, I readily said, "Oh, we can replace that. In fact, there are a lot of things we can do with glass. We could even sandblast a beautiful custom design into your new glass tops." This is Stacy Sinks with Les's Glass Service, and glass and mirrors have been our business for over 35 years. So if it's a new glass shower door, fogged or broken insulated glass replacement, or affordable glass and mirror home decor that you've been looking for, you just can't pass on Les's Glass. Les's Glass Service, serving all of southeastern Wisconsin. Find us at lesglassservice.com.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. The Green Bay Packers wrap up Block 2 of organized team activities today in Green Bay. Packers defensive lineman Kenny Clark reveals that off-season surgery was required to fix an injury suffered in last season's opener in Brazil.
I had surgery on my foot in January. It was a tough year, but I'm back out practicing. Today was my second day doing Indy with the team, and just got to keep building forward.
The Packers begin a mandatory minicamp June 10th. That's coming up here. The Brewers enjoy a day off before their longest homestand of the season begins tomorrow night against the Padres. The Milwaukee Brewers have won 9 of their last 10 games. Checking out the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. A few disabled vehicles out of the system, but those aren't causing any problems, so good news there. The one issue we do have is in Milwaukee County at 4194 South, right around the ramp from Drexel Avenue. The right shoulder is blocked due to a car fire, but I will tell you, at this point, it looks like the flames are out. I see a tow truck out there, and hopefully that car will be out of here soon, and we won't have to deal with any backups because it's not too bad, but we definitely do have traffic slowing down because of that. The only other thing you really have to worry about right now, and this is nothing new, but I'm going to let you know because it is a factor, the construction. It's not happening right now. It's happening overnight, but the construction barrels are causing slowdowns on 41, so that area around Mayfair and then sometimes all the way up past Mill Road. We do have kind of stop-and-go backups. And here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Reminder, we have an air quality alert until noon today. That's for all of southeastern Wisconsin. Mostly sunny skies, but you will notice some smoke and haze. We have a high of 70 by the lake, 75 inland. We'll dip down to 55 for the low tonight. Tomorrow, partly cloudy with a slight chance for rain, mainly north. High of 68 by the lake, 73 inland. Saturday, partly to mostly cloudy. High of 65 by the lake, 72 inland. Sunday, scattered showers and storms are likely. Monday, mostly cloudy and a chance for rain. A high of 69. It is currently 65 degrees in Kenosha, 70 in Waukesha, and 62 in Smoky, right here in Milwaukee. I'm Jessica Ty. Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 10:09.
Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue. It's time for Point Taken. Here are your hosts, Steve Scaffidi and Kristin Brey.
Good morning. All right. Well, it is Thursday.
It is Thursday.
Past hump day.
It is.
And let's start with a little bit of Wisconsin news.
Oh, yesterday, everyone was getting along. We seemed like we had, I'm just teasing, I'm sort of exaggerating, but everything that Republicans and Democrats were working together in Wisconsin. All that blew up yesterday.
All that blew up. I guess, are we surprised that the breakdown has happened between Governor Evers and legislative Republicans? Does this surprise you at all?
No, I've done a political show for quite a while now, and this is the narrative. They hate each other. Oh, is there a thawing happening? Are we seeing both sides? No, it's not. No, they don't like each other.
Well, do you have to like each other to try to get something done? Is it so much that they don't like each other, or that they just can't agree on where the priorities for the state?
Yeah. I mean, it gets into the whole definition of the word compromise, and the sort of the new political model is your side is right on everything and the other side is completely wrong and dangerous. So when you have that mindset going in, many of your members, in this case legislators, are going to say, we don't want to do anything they want to do. Now, smartly, I think the governor said, you know what, we're willing to. He was actually looking at some of the tax relief.
Yes, according to his
said.
statement,
yes.
He said from his point of view, he was willing to compromise on certain tax breaks, but in the nature of a compromise, there were certain things that he wanted when it came to K through 12 funding, when it came to child care counts, so subsidizing more child care so that a lot of centers won't close down, and then also making sure that there aren't more cuts to staffing at different UW campuses. And Republicans said that they were too far apart on those kind of fundings, and it was going to be too expensive.
Yeah, and Republicans are flexing their muscles, and they don't want to give Governor Evers anything. I was listening a little bit of the interview with Vincent Eric this morning, and sort of the fascinating question was the Chat GPT question. Did you get this one?
We got a little bit clip from that.
Is it true? Are you guys using Chat GPT to try to find wordage that would avoid some of the line item vetoing?
We are not at that point yet. We certainly could look at using ChatGPT. We haven't done that.
It's an interesting answer, although I could have swore...
It's an interesting answer. It was a vague answer. He's not using it yet.
Interesting because I think it's involving a technology that's still fairly new when it comes to this kind of stuff. And
I mean, if it's good enough for RFK.
Yeah, who's apparently not using it properly, at least in
at least not site checking it after
his sourcing is not good.
Sourcing is like, let's just make up some sources in our CDC reports.
But here again, I'll go after both sides. One, Evers obviously, when you break it down, when you say it's over, the Republicans are just going to pass the budget, and then you're ultimately left with the decision. Now he signed the last two that they crafted, and it was primarily
with a fair amount of high-profile line item vetoes,
which makes Republicans very cautious. On the Republican side, I'll ask this question. I ask it every time you do a budget. What are you doing with the surplus? I know you're sitting on it. How does that help all of us? Whether it's the one side that wants things like, I don't know, maybe child care tax credits or something like that, or the side like me that says, just give it back to us in whatever form you want to do that, in a tax credit, a check. I don't care what it is. We've done all these things in the past. States have done it all different ways. It's our money, and you're playing around with it. And because you two can't get along, you two sides, we suffer. And last thing I hear, or last thing I'll say is every time I hear someone talk about this conversation about the economy is everyone's budgets are tight. Well, in whatever way you can, help out those personal budgets. And if you say to me $500 is no big deal, I'll smack you across the face. That's stupid.
But yes, $500 no big deal. But as far as the one-time payment of $500 versus actually investing in things that have longer term benefits for more people that no one else is actually going to fund.
So are you opposed to the $500 payment?
For me personally,
yeah,
I would give up $500 if it meant funding childcare.
What if you can do both?
That would be great.
That is what we should be looking at. That's sort of the art of compromise. And I'll say this, and I like Robin Voss. He's been a friend of the show for many years. He's always welcome on the program. So if Robin wants to clarify any of this or all of this,
come back on.
You can come back on tomorrow.
Invited him on.
I'll give you an hour on the show. I say over and over again, you're the most powerful politician in the state. And I know we have a governor. That means something when I say it. But I'm continually embarrassed by the conduct and the leadership of all of our electeds in this state because you don't get stuff done.
Way to catch yourself.
I did. I almost said it, which Jazz would have went crazy on me, so I'm avoiding that conflict. Look, figure it out. Now, they are crafting
Do you think that we get no budget? Do you think there's a chance?
They will have a budget.
They'll have a budget.
Yeah.
Do you think that there's a budget that you think there's a chance that Evers won't sign it and we'll veto it, and then we just work off of the last budget?
No.
You don't think so?
I think he'll sign it. Yeah.
Interesting.
As painful as that might be.
Mostly because he's always signed it?
Yeah. You don't want to be known as the guy who couldn't get anything done, and it's not signing your budget, your biennial budget is not a good thing. Now, temper that with the idea that maybe if he's not running, let them deal with it. Let the next person deal with it. Maybe that's the play. I don't know. Trying to get into the mind of Tony Evers, just as hard as getting... No, it's not that hard. was going to say Donald Trump, but that's a much
What's
more.
supposed to be the deadline? June 30th?
I think so, yeah.
All right.
Let's just say the 4th of July.
Speaking also about the 4th of July, will we get a big, beautiful budget done in the Senate by the 4th of July? We'll talk more about that. Not if Elon Musk has anything to do with it, apparently. All right, we'll talk more about that after this on Point Taken.
St. Anne's Center for Intergenerational Care recently switched to James Imaging Systems for their document imaging technology. Why? CFO Sally Parente.
Well, I think that boils back down to the service. We have a good partnership with James Imaging.
With James, you get more than a vendor relationship. You get a local business technology partner.
Oh, absolutely. I can pick up the phone at any time, contact our representative, and he's right on it.
James Imaging Systems, business technology and local support for more productivity, more value.
Definitely. We're a nonprofit here. We have to watch every penny, so we really feel very comfortable in that area with James Imaging.
Comfortable enough to recommend James Imaging Systems to others?
Well, without hesitation, I would recommend James Imaging. They won't be disappointed.
James Imaging Systems. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com. James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
The Cane Table from Penny Mustard is more than just a table.
It's hosted countless brunches.
It's where important documents are signed.
And where family meetings are held.
It's headquarters for homework.
Craft projects.
Board games.
And the wrapping of various gifts.
It's not about food.
It's about memories.
So it's gotta last.
It will, for generations to come.
The Cane Dining Room Table with 6 encore chairs starting at $61.97 at Penny Mustard.
Showrooms in Milwaukee and Chicago.
PennyMustard.com.
Tune in to Wisconsin's Midday News with Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty.
Anderson is accused of killing and dismembering Robinson after a first date in April 2024. This trial is expected to last 2 weeks. The details, oftentimes gory.
Bringing you the latest in news, sports, traffic, and weather.
What are we thinking about for another men's U.S. Open? Well, the only open day on the calendar between now and 2051 is 2043.
Only on WTMJ.
Big, beautiful budget bill. 4 Bs. Do you like when I put the extra B in there?
I don't
care. You call it the big, beautiful tax bill. Is that what you call it?
I say it sarcastically as far as the big, beautiful bill, but there's been lots of different appropriations of the big, brutal bill, the big, bad bill, depending on who is talking about this massive deficit increaser.
Yeah, and before you jump on Kristin as the liberal, Ron Johnson's saying the same damn thing.
Here's my thing with this bill. It just feels like, I feel like I could actually understand the argument if we were kicking people off of Medicaid, or because right now the current CBO estimations with the bill as it is actually has increased. It's over 10 million people that would lose their health insurance. There's also talks about who would for SNAP benefits and stuff like that. So it's one thing if we were cutting stuff and programs got cut in order to decrease the deficit, you actually probably get me there. Because I do understand that the deficit is a huge problem and the amount of money that we're spending on interest. So if everyone is willing to pay the price, right? Like we're all increasing taxes, we're cutting programs to get the deficit down, I could probably understand the argument for this bill. It's the fact that we are both cutting programs for working class and poor people and increasing the deficit. That is like, what are we doing?
So you don't buy the Republican talking point that we're removing people who shouldn't be getting benefits or making those people do some work. That's the talking point.
That is the talking point. And that's fine if that's the talking point. I just think, so Arkansas, I was looking into this because what it was is that there's work requirements for SNAP benefits. And so I conflated the two as far as where the work requirements are for. Arkansas does have work requirements for their Medicaid, and it hasn't actually improved unemployment rates, right? Like it hasn't moved the needle that much. So fine. Like I think in theory, the understanding of, or like the idea that if you were a person who's not working and you were able-bodied and you're not a caretaker, yes, you should be working or you should be volunteering or you should be doing something. I just don't know if that's a significant amount of the people who are receiving Medicaid right now that it's going to move the needle that much.
Yeah, no, here's the cool thing about that question. Data can tell us if that's true or not.
Yeah.
but someone has to do the homework. That's where a Doge could actually do some significant. If you actually, all these smart dudes,
all these software engineers. So there was a PBS NewsHour was interviewing someone who got fired from Doge because he was talking to a reporter. But it was an interesting interview because he was a pretty even-keeled guy. And he was like, I signed up to go do this because I thought we were going to be shipping code. I thought I was going to be building software that was going to make the government more efficient. And because I think that's what we hear over and over again. It's like a lot of these systems are super outdated, right? And so there probably is the ability to use some of these super smart people who wanted to work with Elon Musk and be able to build things that maybe do take less people, but it also takes time to build those things and understand what the requirements are to fulfill the needs of this outdated software.
They went for the flash and the shock and awe by just whacking thousands of employees, many of whom they had to bring back. And I get, some people like the fact that that's going to save us money because there's a lot of salaries and benefits tied to those people. I get that. That's the easy, lazy way to do it. But I'm going to ask this question again because I want all those people who say I'm not tough enough on the other side, and I guess they mean Democrats. Elon Musk, Ron Johnson. Last time I checked, two pretty impactful supporters of this president have both said the same thing about this bill. It's a disaster. So if they're saying it, what does it matter what I say? They're saying it about this bill. This is a bill, by the way, that the president wants Congress to approve so that he can sign it. So are they wrong? Or is it just me wrong because, my goodness, I have an open mind on some of this stuff? That's what frustrates me about it. Not to make it personal, but you have two leading supporters of the president who are both saying the same thing. Take some, if you call yourself a good listener, take something out of that. What do you say? Text me if you're not understanding what I'm saying. You have two extreme supporters of the president. One a billionaire, one a millionaire senator from Wisconsin who's been all over supporting Donald Trump since he came into office. First time, second time. And has done literally everything for him. They are both saying the same thing. This is not a savings bill. This is a deficit increasing bill. How are you justifying that as a Trump supporter? How are you justifying that as a Republican? Explain it to me, because I don't get it. I can't even make it any clearer than that. I've had so many offline conversations lately, Kristin, with conservatives and Republicans who are challenging me on this stuff. And I go,
so what do they want out of this bill? Why do they think this is a good bill when you talk to those people?
Here's simplistically put, Trump wants it, I want it. That's it.
And that's when you challenge them? That's the best that they can come back with?
I say, give me the reason why I should support a bill, and I'm all about deficit reduction. Balanced budgets, sign me up. But give me something. Tell me why this is going to do that. Other than this weird generic thing that because of the tax reductions, or they actually say, solidifying the tax cuts of 2017, and all these savings they promise from Doge and cuts, that we're going to somehow miraculously have a balanced budget. I need a little more than that.
Well, there's also, I was reading this morning, that there's a CBO, the CBO analysis that says that it's going to increase the deficit and estimates, close to 11 million people are going to be without health insurance. There's a different, it doesn't account for economic changes that could happen. So there's a separate CBO estimate that Trump's tariffs could shrink the budget deficits by $2.8 trillion over 10 years if they remain in place.
Yeah, I think Bill McCoshen shared this. Short term, we're probably going to reap some money from the tariffs because it's money coming in. Long term, the horrific pain on the consumer and companies and organizations who have to essentially pay the freight to use it.
So what is your solution? Because you like the tax cuts.
I do. What is my solution to balancing the budget?
Yeah.
Same thing the texter just said. You audit each department slowly and carefully over the course of this year, 2025. And, you don't do it the way they did. We're just like whacking people. And you look at what is actually waste versus not waste. What is essential versus not essential. We did that at City Hall. We had a budget every year. I think it was about $24 million or something when we did it back in the 2012, 2013 when I started. We looked at every line item. What are we spending? Do we have to spend that? Is this necessary? Is this a need? Is this a want? That's how we did it. Federal government, they don't do that. Then this chainsaw approach, which Elon Musk has so famously flashed, is not the way to do it.
Literally flashed.
Yeah, not the way to do it. Quick break. Point taken. Chris and Steve on WTMJ.
Want to stay up to date with the crew?
Christian Yelich just keeps on doing it. That was a bomb of epic proportions.
Tune in to Brewers Extra Innings with Dominic Cotroneo after every game.
With Yelich in the middle of this, it feels like a big league dangerous lineup. I got to avoid having base runners on for that guy, and that guy is Christian Yelich.
Or listen anytime on the Brewers All Access podcast feed. We are your home of the Brewers. WTMJ.
Hey, it's WTMJ. Steve Scaffidi here. You need to check out the next Annex Wealth Management's webinar. Brian Jacobson was just on our show Monday. My friend John McCure is hosting. I should say co-hosting because Brian can handle his own weight there. Chief economist at Annex. Don't miss it this Friday, June 6th, 9 a.m. for an instant insight after the jobs report, which is coming out tomorrow, is released. Brian and John will provide all you need to know. They'll share instant analysis on breaking financial market news. Visit WTMJ.com, click on the Instant Insight Register Now button, or check out the events at annexwealth.com. Always a good resource, especially that Get Started button. This Friday, June 6th, 9 a.m., our teammate John McCure and always entertaining and smart Brian Jacobson from Annex Wealth Management. Register today.
At Potawatomi, where ways to win are endless, another chance to capture epic cash and prizes comes Friday, June 27th. It's the season finale blockbuster drawings. Watch your entries from Enchanted Spins, Unreal Treasures, and Boundless Bounty come together for drawings where $300,000 in cash and prizes is there for the taking. Be there to win your share. June 27th only at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. More info online. Must be 21 years old to play.
Your nose is for breathing. Your mouth is for eating. And if you're breathing through your mouth, it's not because your body wants to. It's because it has to, because your nose isn't working properly. And although you've lived like this, it's no way to live, and it's having a significant impact on your life. I know you know this, and I know that taking action isn't always convenient. But at Advent, we've done all we can to make changing your life for the better as easy as possible. I'm Dr. Madan Kandula. With tens of thousands of our patients, a thorough nose and throat evaluation, along with a simple 20-minute in-office procedure called balloon sinuplasty, has opened their nasal passages, allowing them to breathe freely through their nose for good. And there's a good chance this procedure can do the same for you. We'll help you breathe through your nose again, and it will change your life.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Most insurance accepted.
Forget average. At Exterior Pros, they bring the heat. They're not here to meet standards, they're here to smash them. From the first swing of the hammer to the final reveal, they're leveling up your home with every window, every shingle, and every single detail. This isn't just a remodel, it's a glow up for your house. Built tough, built beautiful, built to turn heads. One in? Let's go. Lock in your project now and save $3,000. Exterior Pros, where bold meets built. Trust the pros and visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274.
Happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome.
Happy. You know that's the new Molson Coors non-carbonated alcoholic beverage. It's called a Happy Thursday. Have you had one yet?
No. It sounds good, though.
Yeah.
What's the flavors?
There's a lot of different flavors, but it's unlike the malted beverages of like White Claws and stuff. There's no bubbles. So it's for the people who like the bubbles hurt their tummy.
So I'm a red wine guy. Something never uttered on a show, any show I've been connected with before, that phrase. I'm a red wine guy, so but these like
You're not a beer guy? I know you like red wine, but you don't like just like have a beer every once in a while?
Bit, yeah, once in a while.
Okay.
Miller High Life in bottle. Whew, the best. But those kinds of drinks, those carbonated, they're taking over. I mean, they're in the bars, because I see what people drink when I go to places. They love those things.
Canned cocktails, high noons are very popular.
Pre-mixed, all that stuff.
There's a lot of variety.
All right, what do we got coming
drinks.
up?
Coming up next. So we are going to be talking to both a conservative and a Democrat, and a liberal, Dr. Kristin Lyerly, who you might remember ran for Congress up in the 8th District, and Jake Vadenplass, who is a conservative farmer who also ran for Congress back in 2022. They worked together in a program that suggested that we should expand Medicaid for postpartum women. Now, there is one man who actually was interviewed earlier today on this station who is standing in the way of that. So we're going to talk to them about why this is a bipartisan issue after the news. But first, ABC, and then local headlines with Jessica Ty.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. Another travel ban from the Trump administration. The president banning people from countries his administration has deemed dangerous, including Afghanistan, Myanmar, Iran, and Sudan. His first travel ban in the first administration was issued in 2016 against predominantly Muslim countries. Some legal experts are advising immigrants to make virtual appearances at ICE hearings rather than show up in person because people at routine check-ins in some cases have been taken into custody.
For the longest time, advocates have said that these courtrooms were safe spaces where migrants could come in and actually follow the law the way they are being told to do and eventually lead to citizenship, right? Hopefully here in the United States. This is turning that theory upside down. And really advocates are saying that this is a scare tactic.
ABC's Maria Villarreal. President Trump meeting at the White House today with the new German chancellor. Heavy smoke intrusion from Canadian wildfires still hitting Wisconsin, Michigan, and parts of Illinois. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 10:31. I'm Jessica Ty. Just in, the Supreme Court decides a Catholic charity does not have to pay Wisconsin unemployment taxes. The unanimous ruling comes in a case filed by the Catholic Charities Bureau. The group said the state violated the First Amendment's religious freedom guarantee when it required the organization to pay the tax while exempting other faith groups. Wisconsin argued the organization has paid that tax for more than 50 years and doesn't qualify for an exemption because its day-to-day work does not involve religious teachings. Once again, that ruling just in, the Supreme Court sides with Catholic Charities. Testimony continues right now in the Maxwell Anderson trial in Milwaukee. The 34-year-old is accused of murdering and dismembering 19-year-old Shadi Robinson after a first date in April 2024. This morning, the prosecution heard testimony from an ex-girlfriend of Anderson's, Chloe Wright. Attorneys for both sides have focused on whether Anderson had a history of abusive relationships. You can follow the trial live right now on our website, WTMJ.com. Time now for the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. We're still looking good. Everything is up. Everything in the green. The Dow is up 127 points to 42,255. S&P 500 is up nearly 25 points to 5,996. And the NASDAQ is up nearly 137 points to 19,597. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth. Annex Private Client. Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Checking out the roads right now with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. We're not doing too bad. The only incident on the board right now is on the ramp from 4143 894 East to 4194 South. Right shoulder is blocked due to a car that's broken down right there. And you know what? Doesn't look like there's much of a backup, though, so we will take that. As far as backups, we do have a backup today. It's nothing new. It's just that construction spot, but I want to let you know, in case you're traveling in the area and haven't before, what's going on 41? Oh, yes. That's due to the construction. Workers are not actually out there right now. They're doing most of the work at night, but the construction barrels just seem to be slowing people down. That's in the Mayfair area if you are headed north, and if you're going down towards the Mayfair area, the backups start, looks like about Silver Spring Drive right now. And here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. A reminder, there is an air quality alert until noon today. That's for all of southeastern Wisconsin. We have a high of 70 by the lake today, 75 inland, and you will notice it is smoky, a little hazy out there. We're going to dip down to 55 for the low tonight. Tomorrow, partly cloudy with a slight chance for rain, mainly north. High of 68 by the lake, 73 inland. Saturday, partly to mostly cloudy, high of 65 by the lake, 72 inland. On Sunday, scattered showers and storms are likely, high of 73. Monday, mostly cloudy and a chance for rain, high of 69 on Monday. It's currently up to 69 degrees in Kenosha right now, 70 in Waukesha, and we're now up to 64 in Milwaukee. I'm Jessica Ty. Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 1034.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here. You're going to love this. There's free pizza today at the Amazing Mind Chef restaurant in Hartford. Business owners, managers, coaches, listen up. Check this out. Every Thursday, when you buy one pizza, your second pizza's free. Buy 2 pizzas, get 2 free. Buy 5, get 5 free pizzas. You got a big hungry crew. Buy 20 pizzas, get 20 free. Bring in pizza today for your loyal employees and your clients. They'll appreciate you big time. Coaches, bring in your soccer, baseball, basketball, track, tennis team. It's free pizza at the Mine Shaft restaurant. And your players are going to love that world-class game room, super affordable team bonding. The Mine Shaft in beautiful downtown Hartford. It's right off Highway 41 in Oshkosh. 2 locations, easy to get to. Lots of close parking, plenty of seating, and a reminder, the Friday all-you-can-eat fish fry is $7.99. What a crazy low price. So don't cook today. Order now and pick up your pizza shortly, or dine in and enjoy your free Thursday pizza. MineShaftRestaurant.com. Big food, big fun. It's the Mine Shaft.
Dan, what are you doing?
Taking a closet for a test drive.
A test drive?
Here at Inspired Closets, we have our own cutting-edge immersive design experience.
That's right. Envision by Inspired Closets uses AR technology that's sort of like test driving a car.
Virtually walk into your custom closet at scale before anything is even built.
You can even make changes in real time, so your environment will adapt to any design revisions you make in that moment.
Get started today at InspiredClosetsMilwaukee.com.
Inspired Closets, a wife and husband team.
Looking for new floors but tired of the pushy sales pitch? Vince Vitrano here recommending Hunt's Flooring in Greenfield, local family-run business where the team treats you like a neighbor, not a number. It was actually one of my neighbors who recommended Hunt's to me. No pressure, no gimmicks, just honest advice, beautiful flooring, and help every step of the way. From hardwood to pet-friendly carpet, find the perfect fit for your home and budget. Visit the showroom or start your project now at huntsflooring.com. Hunt's Flooring. Flooring you'll feel good about.
Welcome back to Point Taken. I am Kristin. He is Steve. And revisiting a topic that I am passionate about, and it seems like a lot of people are passionate about, because it is a bill that passed almost unanimously in the state Senate. And now there is a lot of support for it in the state assembly, except there is one man who does not want it to pass. And of course, I am talking about expanding Medicaid for postpartum moms. And so right now, Wisconsin is one of 2 states that has not expanded this. And so you get 60 days, and the bill would expand it to 12 months. And so this is a bipartisan issue. Like I said, there's a lot of support from this, both from pro-life organizations, pro-choice organizations. And right now we're talking to our guests are 2 people who actually worked on this legislation together in a program called Builders, when they were talking about what are family first, family planning programs that both sides can get behind. So our guest today in studio is Jake Vandenpluis, who is a conservative farmer from Door County and involved with DC Farms for Vets, and Dr. Kristin Lyerly, who is an OBGYN, and also both are former congressional candidates for the 8th District. And Dr. Lyerly is on the phone with us. And so I guess, first of all, why do you think there is so much, and neither of you can answer this, why is there so much agreement on this policy, especially in a state where it seems like we're usually divided about a lot of things?
The state is definitely divided. And I think one of the main reasons why there's so much support is this is supporting the future. And for me, for being primarily pro-life, I think this is a pro-life stance. Simply passing a piece of legislation abolishing abortion isn't going to do what it's intended to do. But we do want to address the issues of why women are choosing abortion, and this would be it. So this is a pro-life stance, in my opinion.
Kristin?
I am actually a person who saves people's lives, so I would say that I am also pro-life. When we all came together, it was very interesting how we had people from different perspectives coming together, sharing ideas about what we thought was important, and we landed on so many things that we agreed on. All of those things that encouraged people to live healthier lives, that gave people support to be able to grow their families in a healthy and sustainable way. Really, the only sticking point we had was abortion. But when it came to things like postpartum Medicaid expansion, that was a slam dunk for us. I mean, Jake, when we first started talking about that, I feel like that took like 5 minutes for us to agree on.
Yeah, that one went fast. Yeah, that's where the support needs to come from. Supporting the future and the families, that's where the money's made.
Because Dr. Lyerly, as someone who obviously provides care after a woman gives birth, what are some of the statistics when it comes to maternal mortality in the first year after giving birth?
We know that most women who die as a result of their pregnancy die in the postpartum period, and that 80% of these deaths are preventable. 80% of these deaths are preventable. That means that offering women health care during the postpartum period saves lives of new moms who have babies at home. moms who often have other children. That's why every single state in this country has offered postpartum Medicaid extension, except for us. And Arkansas hasn't quite gone all the way, but they've done some other things that we haven't done. We are literally the losers in this country. And it is our moms and our babies and our young families that are losing the most.
And Jake, what I love about your take on this, and I know you wrote an op-ed on this called "Liberals Aren't the Only Ones Who Favor 12 Months of Medicaid for New Moms," which, again, this is so overwhelmingly popular. And I know you understand the term nuance, but one of my big objections with other conservatives is they don't understand nuance. It's like one way or not. And this is what frustrates me about Speaker Robin Vos. Overwhelmingly popular, and you're drawing this line in the sand that I don't think even exists. Because I know conservatives, they're also in favor of this.
Well, and that's the thing. At the end of the day, you still have a responsibility to be the voice of your constituents. And if your constituents are in favor of this, you should be voting yes on it. And he's not.
And 73%, isn't that the number that in Wisconsin support this idea?
I believe so, yeah. And electorally, that's a big number.
It's a huge number.
That's not 51%. That's not just a little bit over. And we got to get this pushed through. And Robin Vos, if you're listening, I definitely encourage you to move this through. That's a big thing. It's going to help out a lot of families here in the state of Wisconsin.
Now, Dr. Lally, I know you tweeted out earlier this week. What was the session that was happening where Robin Vos asked a room full of doctors to do their research? What was the context there?
Yeah, we were lobbying at the Capitol. It was the Wisconsin Medical Society Doctor Day. So there were doctors from all over the state, all different specialties, all different political ideologies, frankly. And we all recognize, as Jake and I do, that postpartum Medicaid extension is just fundamental. It is just something that we can all stand behind. And as we were asking this panel of leaders that included all of it was, Senator Hesselbein, it was Senator Lemieux, it was Speaker Vos, and it was Assembly Representative Greta Neubauer. It was so shocking to me and the rest of the room when Robin Vos told us to do our research on this issue. You could hear the crowd of 200 doctors literally gasp. And it wasn't the insult, because it was insulting, but it was more the failure to recognize how much this meant to the people of Wisconsin. This bipartisan, bicameral bill that has overwhelming support. This is a bill that passed the Senate 33 to 1. This is a bill that people want to see, that is just being held up by one man for, I don't know, his own political power. It doesn't make any sense at all to me as a physician who cares for moms and babies.
Because what did he actually want you to do research on?
I think it was unclear.
Okay.
He told us, okay. We asked the question and he said, if you did your research, you should do your research, which we do because we're doctors.
We're going to take a break here. We're running a little late for our break. Great guest talking about a great important topic, that Medicaid expansion for women in Wisconsin from, what is it?
From 60 days to 12 months.
12 months, significant amount of time. Overwhelmingly bipartisan support, something we should all be on the yes side of, and voters in Wisconsin have basically said that. Lots more to talk about on Point Taken. Kristin and Steve on 620 WTMJ.
If you have a snoring problem or sleep apnea, odds are you have blockage in both your throat and your nose. Now, for those who've gone elsewhere and wonder why their issues aren't getting better, this is where the problem lies. Because the true root of your problem very well may be your nose. We believe we'll find that your nose isn't working the way it should. And once we do get your nose working, your CPAP mask can finally work, or you can lose that CPAP mask altogether. I'm Dr. Madan Kandula with Advent, where we offer every effective snoring and sleep apnea solution available, including simple in-office procedures that can get your nose and your throat working properly. It's a simple concept. If you're going to get your best sleep, you have to be able to breathe well. Go to adventknows.com to schedule an appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Breathe well with simple solutions. AdventKnows.com.
Save on the best quality furniture and mattresses during the Memorial Day sale at Ken Michaels Furniture. With major discounts from our premier suppliers, you will save big bucks on top brands like Bradington Young, made in the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains. Bradington Young is known for its fine quality leather upholstery. Fjords brings you modern Scandinavian designed recliners and sofas, ergonomically engineered for more hip and back support. Norwalk, with American roots that go back over 100 years, specializes in making furniture just for you. Choose the piece, style, fabric, or leather you want, and in just 35 days, we'll deliver your new sofa, chair, or sectional. In stock or special orders are all sale priced. Need a little help putting it all together? At Ken Michaels Furniture, our design staff is ready to help you with your purchases, and it's free. Stop in today and save during our Memorial Day sale at Ken Michaels Furniture on Capitol Drive in Brookfield, Highway 100 in Greenfield, or our downtown Mattress Factory showroom.
Hey, WTMJ's John Mercure here. Father's Day is almost here. Think about how much your father and grandfather mean to you. Show your love and appreciation. Take them to the historic Fox and Hounds restaurant for the Father's Day brunch buffet. The food is world class. It's everything your dad loves for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, including an entire room of homemade desserts. It's all you care to eat. Kids and grandkids under 3, they always eat for free. The Fox and Hound sits in the heart of the Kettle Moraine Forest. The setting is spectacular. If Father's Day doesn't work, take your dad out for a free dinner this week. When you buy one dinner, your second dinner is free, including the steak and lobster and anything on the menu. The Fox and Hounds, just off Highway 167, 2 miles east of the famous Holy Hill Shrine. The drive alone is just beautiful. Reservations are required for Father's Day. Tables fill quickly. Reserve now. foxandhoundsrestaurant.com. It's that easy. Tell your dad you love him by taking him for a free dinner this week. foxandhoundsrestaurant.com. Don't forget your dad.
Hi, I'm Eric Brown, owner of Siding Unlimited, reminding you to double-check your home. Siding Unlimited is the proven exteriors professionals for 31 years. Family-owned and locally operated right here in Wisconsin. Call Siding Unlimited and visit sidingunlimited.com.
I really don't know why we do
welfare thing.
Oh,
Okay.
it's 100%. Yeah.
Okay.
And we already said there have a chance of problems with funding Medicaid as it is.
Well, that's going to get worse. We know that. So why not? Why not fund poor people?
What do you mean?
Why not take care of poor people, women? That
Well, they
are
already
poor?
have access to Obamacare for free.
Feel free to come in. Well, that might change.
Well, it doesn't right now.
But still, postpartum care, I guess, doesn't get covered on
It
Medicaid.
does.
Is that what the deal is?
Correct, but it would on
So-
Obamacare, which is why we want people that want Obamacare.
So you
Feel free to come right in and sign in.
fund it because it's a poverty thing.
No. That's not what I said.
What did you say? What was the word you said?
So there's 2 ways for people to get insurance: private sector,
Yeah.
public sector.
Yeah.
Public sector should be last resort, not first draw. So you can be on Obamacare right now
Oh,
for
it's a
free.
welfare thing. That's what you said. It's a welfare thing.
Correct. I'd rather.
So that was a clip. Welcome back to Point Taken. That was a clip recently posted by Lou Ann Bird, who has run for assembly down here in southeast Wisconsin against Bob Donovan a couple times. And she was asking Robin Voss as far as why he is standing in the way of expanding Medicaid for postpartum women from 60 days to 12 months. And he went out and said that they could be on Obamacare for free. And I'm not a healthcare expert, but I'm pretty sure that there is 0 ACA packages that you can get for free. Dr. Lyerly, are you aware of any ACA like branches or tiers that you can get for free?
I am not. I am on the exchange. I pay $700 a month, and my deductible is $7,000.
Yeah, when I was on the exchange, I think I paid $400 a month, and my deductible was like $7,000 or $8,000.
Yeah, I'm on there currently paying $450 a month.
That's one of those
and
talking points that
60,000.
gets thrown out a lot. And we were digging before the show, and I found there's some reduced rates where you can, if you fall into a very small group of people,
Probably making very little money.
hardly any money, you can get it for like $10. But to overstate it, one of the big talking points is like 4 out of 5 people pay nothing, and
what
those
is
aren't true.
What is the deduction? Not the deduction, but what?
Deductible.
The deductible, sorry.
I didn't see that.
Because I'd imagine it's very high.
Yes, they're all high.
They're all very
even private
high.
sector
And so
deductibles are
that
high
was
now.
like, it's just such a not good faith argument from his that you could just go on Obamacare instead of expanding Medicaid. So let me back up for a second. Our guests are Jake Van den Ploos, who is a conservative farmer from Door County, and Dr. Kristin Lyerly, who worked together on Was this a year ago, 2 years ago?
Oh, it was almost a year and a half ago. I think
End
it
of
was
23?
December of 23 is when we first met, yeah.
So it was a coalition of people from across Wisconsin and across the political ideology working on different bipartisan agreements when it came to family planning in Wisconsin and different policies that could be implemented, correct?
So essentially, we did the job of what our legislators are supposed to be doing.
That's a great point. That's their job.
Yeah,
What has it been like? Because obviously when it comes to this issue specifically, we're seeing one person hold it up, which is interesting as far as how do you hold that person accountable when you can't vote for that person. But in general, what has it been like advocating for some of the other policies, including this one, that did have bipartisan agreement from constituents and trying to get lawmakers on board?
It's very, very frustrating. It's evidence that our political system is broken, and that's what it really comes down to. I have a firm belief, even when I ran for Congress, I ran as a third-party candidate because I believe wholeheartedly one party rules, two parties divide, and three parties will bring balance. And that's what we need in our political system. We have a whole realm of politicians when we actually need leadership, and we are lacking that across the board.
Dr. Lally?
I would add that Jake and I ran for the same office from two different perspectives. We have common ground, but there's a lot that we do not agree on. But this is something that we both passionately believe in. And I think it demonstrates that people can come from different places to find the right solution. Extending postpartum Medicaid is absolutely the right solution. 40% of births in this country are to moms who have Medicaid. And in rural areas, it's 50%. Half of all the births in rural parts of Wisconsin are covered by Medicaid. We are taking health insurance and health care away from half of our new moms in rural parts of the state because of one man.
From the perspective of listeners, fans of the show, Kristin and I, what would you advise people to do about this? We're expressing our frustration. It's bipartisan. You're a conservative farmer, and Dr. Lally is an OBGYN who has run for office on the other side of the political aisle. What should we be doing? What can we do?
I'd say call your representatives, but they're probably already on board.
Already on board.
So
That's the part that
is what's so frustrating about this.
But many are not on board. So I visited with my representative the other day. Many in Northeast Wisconsin, in fact, where Jake and I are both from, are not on board. So I visited with Representative Sortwell's office the other day. He is not on board. What I heard from his staffer was that they have received a ridiculous number of people in support of extending postpartum Medicaid. And she said virtually no one has called in opposition. So I think she said, keep calling, because the more people who call, the more they understand how important this is to their constituents. And even if your representative already is on board, keep calling, because they can talk to the speaker. They can try to nudge this along. This is not impossible. Our voices are critically important. We can't be stifled.
All right. Well, thank you so much for the conversation. Thank you so much for both the work you're doing and being willing and able to walk across the aisle, talk to each other, find common ground. It's so important. Even if our politicians won't do it, it's up to us to do it. So thank you so much, Jake Vandenploos and Dr. Kristin Lyerly, for joining us today.
Thanks for having us on.
Thank
All
you
right.
both.
This is Point Taken. We'll be back after this.
UW-Madison is one of the country's leading hubs for supporting life-changing research and building a skilled workforce.
Thank you.
An investment in UW-Madison helps make a healthier Wisconsin, build strong businesses, and win the war for workforce talent, not just at Madison, but across our entire state. Visit uwalumni.com/UW5 to tell your legislators to support UW-Madison in the Wisconsin state budget. That's uwalumni.com/UW5. Paid for by the Wisconsin Alumni Association.
Vince Vitrano here, talking with Ryan Sopa, my HVAC guy, owner of Urban Heating and Cooling in Franklin, serving all of southeast Wisconsin. Great to see you, Ryan.
Good to see you as well.
Well, I've got you coming to the house to do the AC tune-up. Great time of year for folks to do that before really the summer cooling season heats up, if you will.
A great idea. You know, now we can get in there early, figure out if there's any issues or there's going to be any issues in the summertime, and make sure that you have cold air all summer long.
What do you see sometimes when you go out there in terms of a unit that really needs that service?
Oh, if they haven't had service in years, I mean, I've seen these things with sweaters on. They need cleaning and scrubbing just to get it clean and to make sure it runs efficiently.
Ryan Sopa is with us from Urban Heating and Cooling out of Franklin. Ryan, every air conditioning unit does have a useful end to its life, right? At some point, it's time to replace that AC unit. How do you know?
So typically an air, if well-maintained, will last 15 to 17 years. Have I seen them go longer? Yes. But that's usually the typical lifespan, especially with the new refrigerants coming out.
I think folks would like to know you're an honest family-owned company. So when you go out to the house, if you can get a few more years out of an AC unit, you can do that. You're also the guy to replace it, but you're not going to try to sell folks something.
No, our goal is not to condemn units. Our goal is to repair them and then replace when it's necessary.
And when that time comes, you're the guy for that as well. What happens when folks bring you out for a free estimate?
So we come out, we give a free estimate. They have 30 days to accept that. We like to see people replace preventatively under their terms versus the weather's to make sure that they can have AC all summer long.
It's certainly an investment, getting a new air conditioning unit. I know you have ways to help people pay for that over time.
We offer a few different financing options. Then we can go through that when we're there giving that quote.
Ryan Sopa, my HVAC guy from Urban Heating and Cooling in Franklin, but serving all of southeast Wisconsin. Best way to get started is to visit Urban Heating and Cooling on the web. It's urbanheatingandcooling.com.
Hey, John Mercure here. I hope you will hang with us on Saturdays at 1 o'clock. It's Experience Wisconsin. You know what I love about Experience Wisconsin? There's still places after all the years that I've lived in the state that I don't know a lot about, or places that I would like to revisit. On Experience Wisconsin, we swing you around the state, introducing you to the people and places and things that you ought to check out, maybe put on your bucket list. This week, it is Hayward Lakes, and it is Road America. I love Road America. Even if you're not into all the cars, it's a great place to hang. Check out Experience Wisconsin on WTMJ.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Hey, real quick, Kristin, I looked up the Obamacare average deductible for the bronze plan across.
Which is the cheapest plan.
I'm not cheapest. I don't really know. There's a lot of information about the Obamacare plan that you have to parse through, but it's $7,258. There are a very small number of people who are on Obamacare who don't pay very much, but the restrictions are extreme, and you don't make any money. Basically, is how you do that. So you're going to pile them on with even more cost. It doesn't make any sense. When you have a conservative farmer from Door County and a very liberal OBGYN,
She's actually not that liberal.
good to know.
She a lot of issues. She's pretty moderate.
And most of our legislature of all kinds of political persuasions. Maybe listen to those folks. It doesn't have to be that hard. All right, another full hour of this program coming up. We're going to have local news with Tip Pua. And that's all coming up after the break right here on 620 WTMJ.
Born in the heart of the earth, natural diamonds rise up like the notes of a song from the throat of Mother Nature.
Rick, that was positively poetic. Mother Nature sings diamonds. Sarah, wow, you can sing. Born in the heart of a plasma chamber, created diamonds fall softly like snowflakes from the heart of a star.
A star that shines like true love.
Natural diamonds are earthborn. Created diamonds are starborn.
Kessler's has the largest selection of natural diamonds in the state of Wisconsin. All the different sizes, all the fancy shapes.
Give her a fancy diamond. We do diamonds better because diamonds are what we do.
Bigger, brighter natural diamonds.
And financing that makes anything possible. Kessler's is the largest employee-owned jewelry company in America. Which means we can do anything we want to do. For you. Mother Nature sings diamonds.
For the location of the Kessler's nearest you, visit Kessler'sDiamonds.com.
Jake suffered with carpal tunnel syndrome.
Tingling numbness in my hands and fingers, not sleeping well at night, tossing and turning, trying to manage with pain pills and stretching, and it just wasn't helping.
He didn't want the traditional invasive carpal tunnel surgery.
I had seen people with the bandages and scars and clubs for hands. I just don't have time to be incapable of doing things for 6 to 8 to 10 weeks.
Then he learned about the Ovation Hand Institute and the Ovation Technique, an ultra minimally invasive procedure done in the office.
I wanted to get it looked at sooner than later. So I had the virtual consult. It was very thorough as far as like I was sitting in a doctor's office. I was booked for the procedure 2 weeks later, had my right hand done. Very quick procedure. It was really great. That very night when I went home, it was the first time in probably 3 months my hand did not wake me up.
Book an appointment with the Ovation Hand Institute and find out if you're a candidate for the Ovation Technique.
Probably the most surprising thing was how quickly I was able to do things again. I'm cooking dinner, I'm doing yard work and all that kind of stuff the next day.
Visit ovationhand.com. ovationhand.com.
This Friday, you need to check out a webinar I'm co-hosting with Annex Wealth Management's chief economist, Brian Jacobson. Don't miss it this Friday, June 6th at 9 a.m. for an instant insight after the jobs report is released. Brian and I will provide you with all you need to know. We'll share instant analysis on breaking financial and market news. Visit WTMJ.com and click the Instant Insight Register Now button or check out events at annexwealth.com. That's this Friday, June 6th at 9 a.m. with me, John Mercure, and Brian Jacobson. Register today.
Stop feeling embarrassed about thinning hair and start looking and feeling your best with Hair Grow by New Nordic. Available online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com or at your local CVS.
Built Right, one location saves you money.
Trusted, relevant, locally owned, locally programmed. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
At 11:01, it's 62 degrees. An air quality alert is in effect until noon for all of southeastern Wisconsin. Today, you can expect smoke and haze and mostly sunny with a high of 75. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Tiff Pua. Testimony from an ex-girlfriend in the Maxwell Anderson murder trial. Anderson is charged with 4 felonies, including homicide and mutilating a corpse in the death of 19-year-old Sade Robinson. Anderson's former girlfriend called the sheriff's office after learning of Robinson's disappearance.
And I contacted them just because I knew he was a pretty secretive person with like his house. So he would buy like shelves with false backs or have these like hidden compartments. Like there was one in the bathroom, like under the sink, that he would place a piece of marble in and it would blend so you couldn't really tell that there was a compartment under there.
She also testified about spending time at Warnemont Park with Anderson while they were dating. Challenges getting to school in Waukesha this morning after a local bus company gets robbed.
Several routes were either delayed or canceled Thursday morning after roughly 20 catalytic converters were stolen from the First Student bus slot in Waukesha overnight. The thefts were discovered early Thursday morning, right before buses were set to get on the roads picking up students. The school district has informed parents that routes were expected to be either canceled or delayed today and are now working with families to arrange for alternate transportation. First Student has not commented on the thefts. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
New clues in the search for Travis Decker, the Pewaukee native accused of killing his 3 young daughters in Washington state. ABC's Rhiannon Rowley.
His family says Decker is highly skilled in wilderness survival. Investigators also looking into his military background. He served in Afghanistan before joining the Washington Army National Guard. Court documents say Decker had mental health issues. Police say it appears the girls were suffocated. Autopsy results coming as soon as today could help investigators piece together a clearer timeline.
The 3 girls had distant relatives in Wisconsin as well. Police in Washington state say Decker is considered highly dangerous. A unanimous Supreme Court makes it easier to bring lawsuits over so-called reverse discrimination, siding with an Ohio woman who claimed she didn't get a job and was demoted because she was straight. ABC's Devin Dwyer.
This involved alleged reverse discrimination by a straight woman alleging being passed over for a job because she was not gay by a gay employer. And what the Supreme Court unanimously said today in this opinion by Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson is that the standard is the same no matter whether you're in a minority group or a majority group alleging discrimination. It's the same test for everybody under Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which of course prohibits discrimination on the basis of sex.
The Supreme Court's decision today is expected to impact lawsuits in Washington, D.C. and nearly 24 states. Time for news about your money. Here's your WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. A good day for the markets. Your Dow is up 154 points to 42,581. Your S&P 500 is up 27 points to 5,988. And the NASDAQ is up 137 points to 19,598. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 11:04.
Fleet Farm's got a great deal on tires to help you hit the road for less. Now when you buy 3 Cooper tires, get the 4th free. Just get a set of 4 qualifying Cooper tires installed with our Resolute Road Hazard policy, and that 4th tire is on us. Plus, for a limited time, we're also offering $10 off Valvoline full synthetic oil changes. Tires, oil, brakes, batteries. Let Fleet Farm's Auto Center techs take care of your auto needs. All at the best prices guaranteed. Cooper tire offer not available at Hastings.
For those with a warm weather fashion, try St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores, because that's where you'll find a vast array of men's, women's, girls, and boys' warm weather apparel at the friendliest prices. So many choices, and at such a value. You can fill the closet without draining your wallet. Shop warm weather fashions at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Welcome back to Ask Hassleus. I'm Weston. What's your question?
How do you get pee out of an old mattress?
Well,
I'm asking for a friend.
the best way to remove urine from a mattress is to trade in that old mattress for a new Beautyrest or Sealy Posturepedic.
But that'll cost a lot of money.
Not at Hassleus Mattress. Through Monday, trade in your old mattress and get additional savings of $248 off a queen and $348 off a king. And that's on top of our everyday low prices.
Come on, everybody says lowest prices.
Others sell a Sealy Posturepedic Queen Emeryville A mattress for $1268. Hassleus sells it for $1034. But through Monday, it's just $786. And check out the low prices on Beautyrest and more. Plus, free next day delivery.
What does my friend do with his old soaked mattress?
We haul it away for pee.
What was that?
Sorry, I meant for free.
Sure you did.
Open 9 to 9. Find an employee-free showroom near you at hassleus.com.
Time for a WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. The Packers wrap up Block 2 of organized team activities today in Green Bay. Packers defensive lineman Kenny Clark reveals that off-season surgery was required to fix an injury suffered in last season's opener in Brazil. Mandatory minicamp for the Packers starts June 10th. And the Brewers enjoy a day off before their longest homestand of the season, which starts Friday night against the Padres. The Brewers have won 9 of their last 10 games. Taking a look at your roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic, there are no incidents to report, and all we have are slowdowns right now through the construction area. This is both directions on 41 between North Avenue and Timmerman, right around Silver Spring Drive. Just pack your patience. It is moving. It's just going to be slow. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. An air quality alert is in effect until noon for all of southeast Wisconsin. Today, expect smoke and haze, but mostly sunny with a high of 75. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low of 55. For your Friday, partly cloudy with a slight chance of showers mainly to the north, a high of 73. For your Saturday, partly to mostly cloudy, a high of 72. Sunday, partly cloudy with scattered storms and showers likely, a high of 73. And for your Monday, that rain chance is back and mostly cloudy with a high of 69. Right now in Madison, it's 73. In Waukesha, it's 72. In Green Bay, it's 73. And in Milwaukee, it's partly cloudy and 62 degrees. I'm Tiff Pua. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 11:08.
Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue. It's time for Point Taken. Here are your hosts, Steve Scaffidi and Kristin Brey.
Good morning, everybody. Well, were you waiting for me?
I didn't know. I was waiting to see if you were going to take it, if I was going to take it.
Typically, I look at you, but I was looking at something on the screen.
What were we looking at?
Some coverage of the presser that I don't know why foreign leaders would agree to be
after they've seen what's happened to past foreign leaders who've come to the what was the tweet, the principal's office?
Yeah, why would you go to the principal's office when you don't have to? Just have a meeting with him off site, because then he just extemporaneously now just pontificating about nonsense. Now he's talking about Elon and his great relationship, because he's basically, I'll paraphrase, he's pissed at Elon because Elon says the big beautiful budget bills.
He's going on a social media rampage.
Yeah, so I mean that's the
he's finding the there's always a tweet guy now.
Yeah,
he's basically retweeting Donald Trump's tweets from like 2012, 2013 about raising the debt ceiling and the deficit and all of these old things of saying, like, wise words. Couldn't agree more.
It's the hypocrisy of leadership in our country now, because they've said, most of these people have said the opposite at some point in their long careers. And when we send them to Washington, they generally have long careers. And the president made headlines, not the best segue in the world, but made headlines yesterday. It's sort of 2.0, right? In the Muslim ban in the first term.
Back on the bandwagon.
That's a great term, by the way. You should copyright that. Back on the bandwagon.
I'm not going to copyright it.
You
but
should. That's good.
It's a pun
Put
for
it
today.
on a T-shirt.
But yes, news this morning that last night President Trump signed a proclamation barring people from Afghanistan, Myanmar, Chad, the Republic of Congo, New Guinea, Eritrea. Why did I want to say Eritrea? Eritrea, Haiti, Iran, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and Yemen from entering the country as of Monday. There could be 7 other countries that could have new restrictions as well, as Burundi, Cuba, Laos, Sierra Leone, Togo, and Turkmenistan.
Raise your hand
and
if
Venezuela.
you didn't know there was a Turkmenistan.
I knew that one.
Did you? Venezuela's not a small country, I'll tell you that.
And so it's obviously reminiscent of his first administration and the Muslim ban, which I remember when that first went into place back in 2017, and the immediate reaction of protests, like people showing up at airports. And it will be interesting. It just feels like there's not as much fervor for his actions now. And I don't know if it goes back to what we talk about with the fire hose and there's just too much and what people react to. But the thing that really sticks out to me about this one, and there had already been discussions of this as far as the protections for and the exemptions for people who have Afghans who had helped us during the war. And during a 20-year war, was the fact that they were interpreters and that they put their life on the line to help American soldiers. And now there's nowhere for them to go.
Many who are left there on evacuation day to be
But they're also being deported out of Pakistan.
Yeah.
And so could be really devastating for people who put their lives on the line to help the U.S.
No, none of this surprises me, because this is what this president is known for. I do feel bad for the people who want to come here, can be vetted, which is always part of the process. However you do it, there's always a vetting process. That should still be the case. You just don't come here, get on a plane and come here and then just disappear. That's not the way it's supposed to work. But there is a vetting process. And to just arbitrarily, indiscriminately say no to all these people across the world, again, what is this country about that we live in? What is the term that everybody always uses to describe this country? An old term.
Melting pot?
Melting pot.
Mm-hmm.
Melting means things come together from different ingredients. And one of the magic ingredients that made this country so successful over the past almost 250 years is the fact that we have people from all over. European, African, obviously, because of a horrible story, early part of our country's history. Asia, South America, all of those things blending together to give us a country that we can all be proud of. This is one of those lazy things that this president does to appease some people who are going with the argument, we like who's here now. We don't want to have any new influences.
Not everyone who's here now.
Yeah, not everyone who's here now, but most of the people here now. We like it the way it is. And again, it goes back to my good old days argument, which is specious and stupid, and the good old days were never that good in the first place. So this is just another one of those things that the president throws out there.
There'll be legal challenges.
Everything's going to be challenged. And until our U.S. Supreme Court is willing to say to this president, you know what? No, you're not doing that. This stuff's going to continue to trickle out every day with that stupid signature at 2 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern time when he signs his EOs and his proclamations. He's going to keep doing it, because until somebody really says no, he's going to be the spoiled brat that he's been for almost his entire life. Yeah, I said it. Send a text, 855-616-1620. After the break, he's not a spoiled brat. He's a good local writer and a good man overall. Jeremy Janine, UrbanMilwaukee.com. After the break on 620 WTMJ.
Hi, I'm Rose Gray with Fox World Travel, and I'm excited to share that our exclusive guided Alaska land and sea journeys are now available for 2026. We partner with Holland America Line to curate the best and most sought-after experiences to Alaska. We send hundreds of travelers from Wisconsin to Alaska every year, along with experienced Fox tour managers for peace of mind. Don't just picture Alaska, live it. We have limited spots, and these tours are booking fast. Visit Fox World Travel online or call 866 Go Fox Go.
Hey, it's WTMJ, Steve Scaffidi, Milwaukee Weight Loss. I love talking about it because they changed my life. They can change yours. I've lost, get this, almost 40 pounds. Kind of goes up and down. I was 41, then 39, then 40. It's the secret, by the way, to losing up a pound of fat every day. Their doctors develop easy-to-follow weight loss program. Helps you lose weight fast, naturally, safely. No drugs or injections with the risk of serious side effects. Nope, none of the gimmicky stuff, the meals, bars, shakes. You don't even have to exercise if you don't want to, although I encourage you to get out there and walk every day. My mom and dad still do it, and they're almost 90. Their program helps reset your metabolism so you can keep the weight off for good with a coach for ongoing support. Their coaches are outstanding. Here's the kicker. Their program costs up to half as much and works up to twice as fast as most other programs. That's real, folks. Go to MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com, see those results, and schedule, this is the important piece, your free consultation. 20 to 30 pounds sound good? Month or two? I did it. You can do it too. It's crazy to watch your body lose that weight. Schedule your free consultation by calling 262-449-1180 or online at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. Results may vary.
I can save you at least $2,000. Vince Vitrano here for my team at USA Insulation, where Jeff is offering a minimum savings of $2,000 on your insulation project of $5,000 or more. These are the folks with the proprietary injection foam, filling your walls from bottom to top, where you lose up to 85% of your summer cooling. Find out how much Jeff can save you. Book your free in-home consultation today at usainsulation.net.
USA Insulation. Everybody wants to be closer to free.
This is our new Milwaukee theme song.
Oh,
appointed by us on this show.
It's a good one.
Is this Jeremy Janine's new
walk-up music?
music?
Yeah, I think so.
How do you feel about that?
I was searching for some other Milwaukee songs and coming up empty, so the Bodines
Really?
it is for the moment.
Nothing
not a bad
really
one. Not a bad one.
catchy for you?
I need to do some more research.
All right.
So I'll talk with Jaslyn offline, and we'll have
All
some
right.
surprises for you.
So, Jeremy, you're a great local reporter for UrbanMilwaukee.com, and I know this is a big story because I've been talking to people offline, away from the show, in our offices, anywhere I go. They're talking about this, this.
In the streets.
We're losing our fireworks.
We've already lost them.
Yes, to be more accurate, for a drone show. Now, I'm a big fan of the drone shows. I saw the drone show up in Green Bay. Fantastic. Mesmerizing.
I've yet to see a drone. I've seen pictures of a drone fireworks show,
You've
but
never
I've never
seen
seen one in
live?
person yet. No.
Oh, they're good.
Now here's my chance.
Well, July 3rd, set your calendar.
There we go. McKinley instead of veterans, which is also people are upset about that.
That's one of the things we're talking about. So if you're, are my 4th of July fireworks safe? Yes, but your 3rd of July fireworks are already gone. The county's big lakefront celebration was canceled a couple of years ago because of the cost. Well, we got an announcement yesterday. It's back, but it's not going to blow up. It's going to light up because it's drones. And as you hit on, it moved. And that's, I think, is something people want to keep in mind if they're going to go see it. It's now at McKinley Beach. That's close to Veterans Park, but it's a bit north. So if you're like, I can just go to Wisconsin Avenue and keep walking, no, you got to walk another mile north, and that's going to be a change.
It always seems so close, but it's not that close. It's a mile away.
I would also imagine if you set up camp at Veterans Park, you can still see
I don't know about that.
You don't think so?
I don't know.
Well, this is the question we'll all find out about drones.
You could still see it from...
I don't know about
If you were
that.
on the lakefront, I feel like you would have a view of the fireworks.
I told you this before the show. There's a piece to this. They're sick and tired of the campers. I'm saying that. They're not saying that.
Well, they sort of are, because one of the things they explicitly made clear is no camping. Parking, I believe, opens at 2 p.m. My personal suggestion, don't drive the whole way to the parking lot there. Go to somewhere on the top of the
I don't
hill.
want to derail the conversation, but across our communities, and when I say that's Milwaukee and beyond, they're even in my city of Oak Creek, they're changing the rules about these campers.
What do you mean by campers?
They actually set up chairs, blankets, those temporary gazebo things. days ahead of time in my community and other communities to get a good seat for, in that case, the parade.
And they just leave it there?
Yes. Sometimes on private property.
My favorite part is these people spend 24, 36 hours before the event, and then they leave early because they want to beat traffic on the way home.
And they leave early before taking their damn garbage home.
Well, that is its whole problem.
Yeah. Ultimately, this, and I want to give credit where it's Michael Hupy who funded this thing, right?
Yes, one half of Hupy and Abraham.
Yeah, and the old I just looked at on your story. Actually, it wasn't your story. It was Kilmer's, right?
Yep, Graham Kilmer's story.
$370,000 for this cost of the fireworks.
For the fireworks, what does it cost for the drones?
He wasn't. I listened to an interview earlier. He wasn't saying.
It sounds like they don't have a final cost yet, so anything extra they'll roll into next year, which was a subtle implication that they want to keep doing this in the future. There have been drone shows on the lakefront before. Milwaukee Downtown's Holiday Lights, I think it's Holiday Lights show they use drones for. They're becoming pretty common in Milwaukee. The zoo's doing stuff. Kristin, you'll see them somewhere at some point, I'm sure.
I'm sure. I'll probably see them July 3rd. But this is what I didn't know. Are they cheaper? Is it a drone show cheaper than the fireworks?
They may be.
Because I imagine it takes, I don't know, is it people are they man operated? Is it all computerized? So you just set it ahead of time and then it's hands off?
There's 200 drones up to 500 drones, I think is the number, right?
Graham gave me some notes and I failed to pull them up before we started talking. So let's babble for a moment.
I think, I'm going to just say, again.
You think they're cheaper?
I think they are cheaper.
I mean, they're certainly reusable.
Also,
right?
also cleaner.
Also cleaner,
safer.
Much quieter, which is a big thing for dog
All
owners.
those dog owners, oh my goodness. The Andy Tarnoffs of the world, and yes, I hope you're listening, Andy, whose dog goes crazy when the fireworks are going off. Congratulations, you won that argument.
So we have 900 drones.
Wow.
But split, as a new drone owner, I've started to learn this myself.
Yeah.
The batteries on the drones they're using last for about 14 minutes each. You do some quick math there, you get 45-minute show if you do them in waves. 200 first wave. 200 second
That's
wave.
what I saw.
And then 500 drones in that final wave.
Yeah.
For the finale.
The grand finale lives on.
Yeah, I mean, I like it.
I like it too.
And here's my declarative on this. This is the future. This is what you're going to get. And if there's still going to be fireworks in some places, but communities are not stupid, and they're going to understand that I think there's cost savings. Cleaner, safer, easier, logistically. It makes sense. You don't have to have a barge out in a lake or whatever you do in your community. This is the way it's going. I know we don't like change in Wisconsin. Matter of fact, we hate change. We do like everything traditional and, same damn thing every Friday night or whatever your weird pattern and habits are. This is the change.
That's the thing against
endorse
fish
it.
fries.
I'm not against fish fries. I'm against this sort of fascination and this weird cult worship of fish fries. That's what I'm against.
Okay. All right. Moving on. When we come back, there are 4 official options to rebuild 794. So we're going to hear about what those are with Jeremy Janine of Urban Milwaukee on the other side of this.
When we're out in your town, come say hi as we broadcast live from the Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin mobile studio.
Anytime you hear us when we're on the road, you can find us live from our brand new mobile studio.
Whether it be Summerfest, EAA, Opening Day, Air and Water Show, wherever we may be.
You can see us on the radio, live from the Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin mobile studio.
We are Wisconsin's radio station.
We are Wisconsin's radio station.
We are Wisconsin's radio station.
News Radio 620 WTMJ.
Hey, it's WTMJ Steve Scaffidi for Abbott. Snoring issues, tossing and turning, restless nights of sleep. I had all those problems. I kept my poor wife, Kathy, up at night and probably woke myself up a lot more than I realized. My nose wasn't working properly. I did something about it. I went to Abbott. Before I ever was a spokesperson, I was a customer. And a 30-minute visit, they answered my questions, put me at ease. We added in a really simple sleep study at home in my own bed. They determined my problem, sinuses and nasal passages in my breathing triangle, very common problem that a lot of people have. After a short procedure done, one of their great offices, back to breathing better than ever. And more importantly, Kathy and I sleeping through the whole night. If you struggle like I used to, take the time to see how Abbott can help you. To find out how breathing well and sleeping well can make your nights better, go to AdventKnows.com. Schedule an appointment today because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Start your weekend tonight with a free dinner at the historic and gorgeous Fox and Hound Supper Club. WTMJ's John Mercure here. I love the Fox and Hounds. It is the best dining value in the state. Your second dinner is always free. Steak, ribs, seafood, pasta, a big fresh salad, any dinner item on the menu, your second one is free. Desserts and ice cream drinks, yeah, and they're huge. Buy one, get one free. So relax with your favorite beverage in the 8 unique dining rooms or on the patio in the woods. Spectacular views. I love the patio. Celebrate a birthday, an anniversary, or just a quiet dinner with your sweetie. Your second dinner is always free. The Fox and Hounds, just off Highway 167, 2 miles east of the beautiful Holy Hill Shrine. The drive through the Kettle Moraine Forest is a must-see. Weekends might be too busy? Enjoy your free dinner tonight. And the Friday Fish Fry is all you care to eat and one of the best. Visit foxandhoundsrestaurant.com. Enjoy your free dinner. Tables are open. It's the famous Fox and Hounds.
Summerfest is almost here. The music, the food, all the things that make Summerfest great.
And we are going to send you to all 9 days.
Keep it tuned to WTMJ for your chance to win tickets to every single day of Summerfest. We'll have your opportunity on Wisconsin's Morning News. Go to Summerfest on us.
Happy Summerfest from all of us here on WTMJ.
Welcome back to Point Taken. I'm Kristin. He is Steve. And we are talking to Jeremy Janine of Urban Milwaukee. All right. One of the, I would say, where would you place this as far as topics that people in and around Milwaukee love to fight about? Is this number one?
Well, the streetcar got built, so that kind of faded off.
But people
and
still love fighting about the streetcar.
This is spiritually taking the spot, and what I say by that is it's a really small slice of
Still
this
ticks
big
me
Milwaukee
off, though, every
picture.
time I see it every damn morning.
There we go.
With
The
nobody on it.
streetcar or 794?
Streetcar.
Well,
Okay.
these two will eventually connect.
Hey, that's a nice little segue.
There we go. That's what they paid me the big bucks for.
Oh,
Interstate 794. We're talking about the segment between the Hone Bridge and the Marquette Interchange. And most importantly, the segment between the Milwaukee River, where the Milwaukee Public Market is, and the Hone Bridge, because that segment was built in the 1970s. That concrete isn't in danger of falling over, but if you wait another 20 years, it's going to be at that point. If you're curious about that, ride the streetcar, get off at the public market. Don't look for Steve, and then look up, and you will see the concrete.
I love the public market. So I might be at the public market, but
At
not
the tiki bar.
Not at the bar. No,
You don't like the tiki bar? What's wrong with the tiki bar?
it's all right. It's not my favorite thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Put that on another tradition.
What's
Steve
that?
does
That
not
fish
like.
company though? Was it St. Paul's?
Yeah.
Who operates the tiki bar?
Do they really?
Yes.
So I skip the tiki part. I just get the good fish. See, I do like fish. Go back to the other point. All right. So there's 4 ideas here, right? One is to just kind of redo it.
Exactly as it is. Yep.
One boulevard, and what's the other 2?
The other 2 are variants on the same idea: left-hand exits or right-hand exits. The state calls it like the slimmed-down main line. It also would involve removing one pair of the ramps. So
Van Buren?
Yes. Milwaukee Van Buren pair.
Yeah.
Keeping only the lakefront pair. That intersection everyone hates with that big sign, and you got to go right to go south, and everything on the lakefront that gets rebuilt.
Right by Summerfest.
Yep, right by the Summerfest grounds.
Let me predict the future. The slim down one is the one that's going to win. One of the slim down.
That's possible. But
What is possible? It's going to happen. I'm predicting it right now.
So the big thing, there was a public meeting last Thursday evening, an open house, the first of what is now going to be several open houses, what we learned over several years, because this project has been delayed because its scope has grown. It was supposed to be just that short segment being rebuilt, and then the idea became, well, let's actually study the boulevard. And then let's study more of the main line rebuilding, that slimmed down main line. We're now looking at not even having a decision approved by the federal government until 2027, and then no construction until 2030. That, depending on how the timing shakes out of Interstate 94
That's
construction.
Why is it going to take so long?
Because they're tearing up a whole nother stretch of freeway.
Yeah,
You
I
can't
guess
have it
that's
all
true.
busted up.
Yeah, there's questions about, do you want to do them together? The big thing that changed on this project is it went to a full environmental review, which is what they call the FONSI process at the federal government, finding of no significant impact for your acronym lovers. But it's this complete document that'll show all the expected impacts. One thing that wasn't available on Thursday that I was really curious about, just they're not ready yet because this is all being delayed, is, okay, the boulevard, what does that do for a bridge over the Milwaukee River? How often do you think that's going to go up and down? What are the mitigation steps? Still lots of questions there. No hard cost figures yet, which I think if you were to pick a slim main line, the cost might be a driver there. The boulevard might end up being the most expensive option.
Cost, and the bridge question are the reason the slimmed down version will be the one of those 2 that they of those 4 that they will pick.
With the slim down version, was there much information as far as the congestion or time? Because the big debate here is people who are coming into downtown from the suburbs and what the slowdown time is for their commute. And so is there, with a slim down version, is there any information as far as keeping it the same versus a slim down versus a boulevard of what commutes look like?
Those estimated trip travel times, all those different models from Bayview to Northwestern Mutual, how long does that take? None of those numbers are available yet. So lots of questions. WISTAT, Wisconsin Department of Transportation, does have a project website. They are accepting feedback. Make your voice heard there. It does all get accumulated and put into a project document.
So just see if folks are listening, and I want you to kind of restate this. Whatever they pick, when this would be completed would be somewhere when?
In the 2030s.
Construction would start in 2030.
Yeah. Here's what I know. I won't be impacted by it because...
You will not be impacted by it.
But you might be.
Frankie will be in elementary school.
Yeah. Long time away. You gave us a long laundry list of topics today. So, first of all, good job, you. Great reporting at the local level, urbanmilwaukee.com. But there's so many things to pick from. A couple ones that we're going to try to hit on. Milwaukee fighting back against the Trump administration. These illegal dumping cameras. Apparently some success there. We'll see what that shakes out. Before we do that, though, where are you going to be Saturday? Got to do this before the news. Where are you going to be Saturday, 2 p.m.? Where are you going to be Saturday, 2 p.m.?
I have no idea. Wherever my wife tells me to be.
Well, you could be listening to my brand new outdoor show, WTMJ Outdoors, and it's a new program. It's also going to be podcast. You can do it both ways, but live on Saturday, not live, pre-recorded live. Hunting, fishing, ATVs, boating, camping, everything outdoors in Wisconsin. I've been trying to do this for 5 years. It's getting done this Saturday, every Saturday, 2 p.m. We got local news coming up after the break with Tiff Pua. Before we get to any of that, here's now the latest from ABC News.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. At the White House, President Trump is hosting Germany's new chancellor. And before holding bilateral talks, the president spoke about issuing travel bans on more than a dozen countries, most of them Muslim. The president says he issued the ban after the firebomb attack at a Jewish rally. The suspect is originally from Egypt. The president was asked why Egypt was not on the travel ban.
Egypt has been a country that we deal with very closely. They have things under control.
Suspect Mohammed Solomon is due back in court later today to face additional charges. The Supreme Court ruled unanimously in favor of a U.S. gun manufacturers. Justices blocked the liability lawsuit brought by the government of Mexico, which wanted to hold U.S. companies accountable for the trafficking of weapons south of the border to fuel violence by cartels. In another case, the court siding with an Ohio woman alleging she was discriminated against as she tries to bring an employment claim against the state based on her heterosexual orientation. This is
Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 11:31. I'm Tiff Pua. The biennial state budget will no longer be penned by both the governor and state Republicans. Budget negotiations between Governor Tony Evers and legislative Republicans collapsed Wednesday night. The state Republicans will now draft a state budget with their own proposals, arguing that the governor's priorities would spend too much money for the state. The deadline to pass the budget is June 30th. One more Milwaukee public school cleared from lead. The Milwaukee Health Department cleared La Follette School on Tuesday, allowing classes to resume. MPS is continuing lead remediation efforts at Brown Street and West Side Academies and providing a screening clinic today for lead at Douglas Middle School for those students. 54 schools in the district will be tested for lead this summer, all built before 1950. And the U.S. Supreme Court unanimously rules that a Catholic charity does not have to pay Wisconsin unemployment taxes. The case filed by Catholic Charities Bureau says the state violated the First Amendment religious freedoms guarantee when it required the organization to pay the tax while exempting other faith groups. The state argued that the organization didn't qualify for that exemption. Much of the group's funding is from public money, and neither employees nor people who use the services have to receive of any faith. Time for news about your money. Here's your WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Everything's still in the green on the boards. Your Dow is up 115 points to 42,543. Your S&P 500 is up 16 points to 5,987. And the NASDAQ is up 85 points to 19,544. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Taking a look at your roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. Just one small thing. There's a disabled semi on the exit to Holy Hill from 45 South. Now, it is off on the shoulder. The tow truck is out there trying to get it all figured out. The traffic is moving smoothly but slowly through that area. Stay safe, everyone. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. An air quality alert is in effect until noon for all of southeast Wisconsin. So today, expect smoke and haze and mostly sunny conditions with a high of 75. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low of 55. And for your Friday, partly cloudy with a slight chance of showers mainly to the north, a high of 73. Saturday, partly to mostly cloudy, a high of 72. Sunday, partly cloudy again with scattered showers and storms very likely, a high of 73. For your Monday, mostly cloudy with a chance of rain, a high of 69. Right now in Delavan Lake, it's 74. In Lomira, it's 73. And in Milwaukee, it's partly cloudy and 63 degrees. I'm Tiff Pua. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 11:34.
This Friday, you need to check out a webinar I'm co-hosting with Annex Wealth Management's Chief Economist, Brian Jacobson. Don't miss it this Friday, June 6th at 9 a.m. for an instant insight after the jobs report is released. Brian and I will provide you with all you need to know. We'll share instant analysis on breaking financial and market news. Visit WTMJ.com and click the Instant Insight Register Now button or check out events at annexwealth.com. That's this Friday, June 6th at 9 a.m. with me, John Mercure, and Brian Jacobson. Register today.
Get the beat of the Bucks straight from a fan favorite and Bucks legend.
Welcome to the fantastic voyage. Marcus Johnson, the captain of this vessel.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson, a Bucks Plus audio production.
My first mate, Chris Johnson, the only father and son tandem.
Your weekly pulse on the Milwaukee Bucks and conversations with the biggest names in basketball. The legendary Ice Cube is on the latest pod with Marcus and Chris. Find Here District now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, or wherever you get your podcast.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for Tri-County Contracting. You've heard about Tri-County Contracting and their worry-free roof tune-up. You've heard about their instant roof quote. But don't forget, Tri-County Contracting also handles windows. Our project at my home moving right along right now, and the process has been so easy and thorough. It's nice when you can trust the team you're working with and know that they are looking out for you. Tri-County Contracting, WI.com. It's worry-free roofing, siding, and also windows. Tri-County Contracting, WI.com.
For over a century, local radio has evolved with the needs of the community. From politics to pop culture, we keep you informed, bringing you the most relevant news, online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress local broadcasting is here to stay.
Welcome back to Point Taken. I'm Kristin. He is Steve, and we're talking to Jeremy Janine about a variety. Oh, Jeremy is.
I just want to give a quick note on the drone show. We talked a lot about cost.
Okay.
I went through my notes with Graham. I think a texter was interested in this as well. The fireworks, and Steve said it costs less, and he's certainly right. $370,000 per year was the cost of the fireworks. The county has raised $200,000 for this year. The drones are expected to cost $150,000.
There you
That's
go.
a lot less.
So maybe we'll get a West Side drone show out of the whole thing.
Oh,
That is a lot less. All right, so let's talk about Milwaukee. Is this the city or the county that is hiring attorneys to fight the Trump administration?
In this case, it's the city. It very well could end up being the county too. A little footnote came through the Common Council giving the city attorney the authority to hire the Public Rights Project, which was a law firm I was completely unfamiliar with. Did some homework on who they are, what they're up to. The city, at no cost to the city itself, would hire this California-based firm. Lots of other cities and counties are hiring this firm. And why? Because they're all joining in a party in the same lawsuit where the Department of Homeland Security labeled Milwaukee a sanctuary jurisdiction. Milwaukee, I'm sure once they're ready to comment on it, will stridently defend themselves, say, no, we have very clear standard operating procedures on how we do and don't interface with ICE and the Department of State. But now the city is lawyering up to fight the Trump administration.
Because what is the definition of a sanctuary city? Is it because it feels like that gets thrown out a lot, but does it have to be a self-declared we are a sanctuary city, or who gets to decide that?
Well, I think it's different in different places, right? You can decide as a city what your terminology, if you even have terminology, and how you approach that question.
Historically, cities like New York, Chicago have openly used the term sanctuary city, and then they became targets of the busing from Florida and Texas. Milwaukee has very deliberately not used that term. The police department has a standard operating procedure, 230, I believe it is, that they do not cooperate with administrative warrants, which is where ICE basically writes, you owe us, and here we give it to you. But they very explicitly do cooperate if there's a judicial warrant, so it's signed by a judge. The Milwaukee Police Department absolutely cooperates. Also, there's a series of criteria that they cooperate. If there's a violent felony, if there's a sexual offense involving a minor, if there's a threat of terrorism, there's all these, anything you'd think was a really serious threat to public safety, they absolutely cooperate with ICE or other federal law enforcement agencies. Just they don't cooperate on administrative warrants. That didn't stop the federal government from putting Milwaukee on a list of sanctuary jurisdictions that because of a court injunction they've now withdrawn.
Why that matters beyond just the actions of ICE or the federal government is, I know enough about this current administration and this president. They use your sort of the way you define your communities and your approach to the administration against them when it comes to funding. Now, they don't say that out loud, but we can see what happens when they talk about some of the things that the government pushes out to the states and to big cities. And I'm not reaching here, but I think Joe Biden as president's relationship with Milwaukee is probably going to be viewed as much more significant and positive than Donald Trump's relationship with the city of Milwaukee, which has never been his friend when it comes to the elections that he's run here. So that's just an obvious thing that I think some people, they forget about that part. There's consequences, and I think we all have to think about that. But again, follow the law. And I know it's easy to say that in the way we look at the law now and lawyers and judges and courts and stuff, because everything's just fudged and it's like whatever, just whatever rule you want to use on that day, that's what's going to happen. Follow the law. And you have to actually participate in a conversation with our federal government. We will have to figure that out. No surprise they're hiring lawyers because there are people in Milwaukee who think this is an issue they want to fight, along with a lot of other places. So that's my take.
Yeah, I think that's a correct assessment. There was some threatening language from Kristin, the Department of Homeland Security Secretary. These sanctuary city politicians are endangering Americans and our law enforcement in order to protect violent, criminal, illegal aliens. And then there was definitely some threats about federal funding. That's really what perked up the city.
What costume was she wearing when she made those comments?
It was a written press release, so I can't
One can only
that.
imagine because, whether it's military fatigues or she had a zoo costume
Always those
on.
hair extensions, though.
Always got something going on, Kristin. Lots more to talk about. Jeremy Janine, his great local reporting at urbanmilwaukee.com. Steve and Kristin on this Thursday edition, Point Taken, PT 620 WTMJ.
Rivals meet again when the Brewers battle the Cardinals June 12th through the 15th. Come for a duel between the Contreras brothers on the diamond and stay for one of the best weekends of summer. It's Tropical Day, Saturday, June 14th, featuring a Brewers straw hat with special tickets. Then take Dad to the Father's Day game for a Barrelman cooler giveaway on June 15th. It doesn't get any better than this. Get in on the action at Brewers.com.
I'm WTMJ's Sandy Max. What makes senior living at Three Pillars so special? Let's hear from my friend Pam.
Good friends of ours moved there, and they had invited us over for dinner a number of times. And they said, we waited way too long. You should come when you're younger. They had no idea it was going to be this great. There are just so many things to do, and it keeps you young. I mean, we have a lot of residents who are pushing 100. I believe they're there and still alive because of Three Pillars.
Schedule a tour today at threepillars.org.
Hey, WTMJ's John Merck here. The paint on the outside of your house is the first impression that people have. CertaPro Painters painted our house and did great. They moved the planters around. They moved the grill out of the way. The little things are important to CertaPro Painters, and they always get it right. Schedule the outside of your house to be done. A free estimate at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C for your home or your business. The details matter to CertaPro Painters. They do it right the first time. They clean up after themselves. They leave your property better than it ever was. Each CertaPro Painter is independently owned and operated.
Welcome back to Ask Hasselus. I'm Weston. What's your question?
How do you get pee out of an old mattress?
Well,
I'm asking for a friend.
The best way to remove urine from a mattress is to trade in that old mattress for a new Beautyrest or Sealy Posturepedic.
But that'll cost a lot of money.
Not at Hasselus Mattress. Through Monday, trade in your old mattress and get additional savings of $248 off a queen and $348 off a king. And that's on top of our everyday low prices.
Come on, everybody says lowest price prices.
Others sell a Sealy Posturepedic Queen Emeryville A mattress for $12.68. Hasselist sells it for $10.34. But through Monday, it's just $7.86. And check out the low prices on Beautyrest and more. Plus, free next day delivery.
What does my friend do with his old soaked mattress?
We haul it away for P.
What was that?
Sorry, I meant for free.
Sure you did.
Open 9 to 9. Find an employee-free showroom near you at Hasselist.com.
Spring is in the air, the perfect time to kickstart those home improvement dreams. Hi, Gene Miller here for my friends at Hometown Windows and Doors. They're your local experts in stylish, energy-efficient upgrades. Boost your curb appeal and add real value with top brands like Pella, Anderson, Marvin, and more. All customized to fit your home and your style. Wood, vinyl, or fiberglass, they've got it all. And their newly remodeled New Berlin showroom is the place to start. That's Hometown with an E for your every window and door need. Visit hometownwindows.com today.
I'm Brett Matchke, and you're due for service.
Richlands.
All right, Thursday edition. Kristin, Brey, Scaffidi on point take it. Now we're running out of time, but we have Jeremy and Janine in studio from UrbanMilwaukee.com. I know you got a quick update on this very, 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 very controversial hotel, apparently. My take.
The controversy quickly evaporated.
Yes.
So we've talked about this at length, I think at least 2 more times. It's been out there for a while, catching people up. Next, where the Bradley Center used to sit, corner of Vel Phillips, used to be 4th Street and State Street, there's a 7-story Moxie hotel proposed. It'll be next to a concert venue, which is then next to Fiserv Forum. And then if you keep going, the same hotel developers developed the Trade Hotel on the other end. Well, the only real reason this new Moxie hotel has become an issue is because there was a botched union election at the Trade Hotel. We ended up with a proxy war. Robert Bauman, alderman, downtown alderman, ended up as the last person standing at the Common Council meeting on Tuesday. The rest of the council approved the hotel. Some of them talking to me afterwards said that, yeah, they wanted to stand with the union workers or hopeful union workers, but they felt like the right thing also was to approve the hotel because of how the legal world works. You can't hold up one thing because of another thing when it comes to
So he still
zoning.
voted no?
Bauman still voted no. He made this land use argument, clearly tried to sway
Because he
some.
wanted a taller building there, right?
And apparently a fun deck on top of it or whatever.
Those are explicitly things he said.
Yeah.
What he wanted was the other hotel to have a union.
Right.
So you have to construct the argument that fits within the law. And Bob Bauman, being a lawyer, did a very good job at doing that. It did not sway any of his colleagues.
It's funny, he's a lawyer, but he always seems to me very unlawyerly like. I don't know, just my take on him.
What are lawyers like?
Smarter?
I would say he's very lawyerly.
Yeah, maybe that's my take. They seem smarter than that. Because first of all, he acts like he knows everything about development. And I understand you get a lot of touches on that when you do what he does, but man, he misses a lot of obvious stuff. That's again my take. I'm giving you good stuff.
Not a great flag designer, I will say that, Bob Bauman.
No.
Bob Bauman,
Someone should get him a Canva.
He is a very good
subscription.
lawyer because he is very good at browbeating something, and the flag is a perfect example of that.
Is the flag conversation ever coming back, or is that dead and gone?
It's done, at least I'd say for the next year or two.
Let the record show I still proudly fly that flag, even though I don't live in
You
it.
fly the people's flag.
Yeah.
The city of Milwaukee
not the
residents
city of
are
Milwaukee
happy
flag.
to have the Oak Creek resident flying the flag.
Yeah, whatever.
I kind of like the old school flag. Just as it's random.
Yeah.
I like iconography on there. Just,
Look at you being an originalist and a
No,
traditionalist.
it's kind of like the Wisconsin flag, where it's like, oh, we just have these random things on there.
You can explain what they all
Kind
are
of
on the Wisconsin
represent
flag.
the city or the state and
Well-
why they're there. It's not necessarily a good design, but it's retro.
The current city flag is. We'll put that aside for now.
All right, this story I care about because I hate trash and dumping. Because if I see something, I'm always tempted to stop and pick it up. Like if I see someone throw it in a garbage, it just bothers me. Maybe that's because of what I used to do, and maybe I'd like to be orderly. The city has been using these cameras to address the illegal dumping. There's some success that's happening apparently.
Yes. So key deviation, or not deviation, but bifurcation, what we're talking about here. It's not just litter, but illegal dumping's like when you evict someone from their apartment or you pay someone to renovate your house and they don't want to actually pay to throw their garbage away. So they just go to an alley or they find a vacant lot and they throw everything there. So we have a photo on Urban Milwaukee of some illegal dumping I've encountered, but drive around Milwaukee anywhere near where there's vacant lots and you'll unfortunately see this, just piles of stuff. And there are some hot spots in the city, and the Department of Neighborhood Services and technology is really aiding them. It's getting wise about this. They've installed cameras. They've now have some people they're going to cite. And actually, this all came up when we were on the air last week. So Sophie Bullock covered it for us. They're not naming where yet. I know a couple of the spots. They're also getting ready a secret car that's going to have cameras inside of it that they're going to park in some hot spots. But citations are coming, and now Kristin really wanted to talk about what the mayor had to say about what's going to happen to people.
This is the mayor's quote?
I believe so, yes.
So your friends, your family, and our city will see what you've done. You'll be an embarrassment to those that you know. Dumpers who commit their crimes will be surprised when they receive a citation.
So I've seen a little bit of the evidence from their early test of these cameras. And let's say the illegal dumpers are not as smart as they think they are. There's going to be some citations coming to these people because they've got them dead to rights on the camera.
People getting away with stuff. They think they can just dump their crap wherever they want to. No, I love it.
Because what is the actual process that if you evict someone or you're moving or something like that, what is the actual process you're supposed to follow to get rid of stuff?
You can go to either the two cities drop-off centers or landfills anywhere, and they will charge you. Not a lot of money, but if you're trying to skim off a little bit extra, you're just going to throw it wherever. Construction debris, drywall, you just throw it out your car.
Is that the same place as, I have extra paint cans that I need to go get rid of, the same spots?
Exactly, 37th and Lincoln.
Pro tip, if you have paint, a small amount of paint, open the lid, let it dry out, then you can put it in regular garbage. Did you know that?
Make sure to look at what kind of paint you have, because that only applies to one of the two primary kinds of paint.
But then you don't have to, and there's also, many cities do this, including Oak Creek. They have times where you can actually drop off paint cans that have paint in them, and they will properly dispose of them. Never dump them out in.
No, I know that much.
So there are
shouldn't pour it
resources.
down the drain.
No. Unless you want your drain painted and not working properly. All right, got one more break. Jerry Janine, UrbanMilwaukee.com is where you can find his great work, and it is great work. Lots of great local reporting, which frankly we don't have enough of, and they do it very well there. So. One more segment on the old program. Also, before we go to break, Rose Gray, Foxwell Travel says, as of this morning, 4 seats left for our Best of Hawaii trip. That's next November, not this year, next November. So good job to all of you who signed up, including Mr. Richard Schmidt, who just signed up yesterday or the day before. Thank you for that. I told you it's going to sell out, so don't wait. I don't want you to be the sad.
4 spots left.
I don't want you to be that sad-faced person. I wanted to go with Steve so bad. Don't be that person. Sign up. Let's close it out.
Finance options? You can finance this over time?
I don't know those questions.
Maybe that's why people are waiting.
Yeah, no, they're not waiting. Everybody's got money. They're going on trips all over the place, including this one. All right, quick break. Chris and Steve, point taken.
When a crane collapsed during construction of a Major League sports stadium, 3 workers lost their lives. Their widows called us. When maintenance workers were permanently injured by an industrial accident at a public utilities power plant, the 7 injured workers called us. When a factory exploded, injuring dozens of workers, 18 victims, including all 3 families of men who lost their lives, called us. Because Wisconsinites know who to call when it's a must-win scenario. They call Habish, Habish & Rotier. National reputation, hometown service.
This is Matt Meitner, owner of Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Do you find yourself talking to your dog but feel like she's not listening to you?
Bella, sit!
Are you constantly repeating yourself but she's not following your directions?
Sit! Sit!
Frustrating, isn't it? At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we want to help you have a happy, confident, and obedient dog, and we also want to make the training process an enjoyable and worthwhile experience. Contact Sit Means Sit today to schedule a free consultation so we can create a customized training program so you are able to have the dog you want and deserve.
Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Sorry, we don't train husbands, wives, or kids.
Summer in Milwaukee is non-stop.
Festivals, live music, and fresh city vibes fill the season.
From world-famous cultural celebrations to hidden gem street fairs, every neighborhood is a stage, alive with handcrafted traditions, homegrown talent, and world-class entertainment.
Music, flavor,
culture. Whenever you visit, the Cream City is ready to celebrate. This summer, don't just visit, experience Milwaukee, the city of festivals. Learn more at visitmilwaukee.org/fest.
There's an amazing supper club in Wisconsin Dells, Ish Nala, nestled among the pines and perched above the sandstone bluffs of Mirror Lake. The beauty, the history, the service, the food, the fun. Hi, this is Bob Prosser, owner of Ish Nala Supper Club in Wisconsin Dells. I've been a part of Ish Nala since 1973, and I am so proud to continue the tradition that began in 1953. Why not enjoy a brandy old-fashioned in one of our bars? each with a spectacular view overlooking Mirror Lake. Or just relax before or after dinner on one of our outdoor decks. Our Ishnala chefs have prepared your favorites: 24-ounce ribeye, cold water lobster tails, North Atlantic salmon, and of course, Ishnala's roast duck. Thank you for making Ishnala Wisconsin's favorite supper club, where the only thing we overlook is Mirror Lake. I'm Bob Prosser, and I want to serve you.
With Amazon Business, smart business buying tools enable buyers to find and purchase items fast. Free up your teams and focus on your future. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
From the post-game show to the morning show, there's no rest for baseball and Dominic Cotroneo.
I was like a kid on Christmas Eve. I couldn't sleep last night. I was just so excited to get ready to watch games that count.
Dominic Cotroneo is our Brewers 360 guest every Monday morning at 8:45 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
There are some roster decisions I do want to break down here, and then we'll get into the lineup.
Brewers 360 is sponsored by Outdoor Living Unlimited and Big Fish Contracting. WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Where did the time go? Oak Creek's most famous broadcaster, yours truly, and Kristin Brey, point taken. And if you want to get a hold of, everyone reminds me when I talk about Fox, what's the number? 866-GO-FOX-GO. Don't you have it memorized by now? Come on, people. All right. Pride Fest is this weekend on the lakefront. Looks like the weather will be okay, a little bit warmer maybe.
As we were saying off air, it's not Pride Fest unless it rains on it.
Yeah, they have had bad
It
luck.
opens tonight.
Yes.
Yeah, we're going tonight.
Is it tonight or does it open today?
It opens tonight. So the festival at the Summerfest grounds is tonight, tomorrow, and Saturday. And then Sunday is the parade.
Yes,
Yeah.
and
which is a big deal in Milwaukee. Big parade.
Yeah.
The joke Michael Horn always makes for us is it's Milwaukee's straightest parade because it goes straight down South 2nd Street.
Yeah.
It is technically a separate event, but as anyone who goes will notice, people freely go between Pride Fest and the Pride Parade. Sunday at 2 p.m., great time. It's a long parade. I wouldn't feel obligated to stay the entire time if you come.
What's long in your mind?
It's like a 3-hour parade.
Are you serious?
Yeah, because basically they let like anyone walk, and so it's fun. It's super fun, but it is buckle up. You're
My
gonna be there
time
for a
limit
while.
is like a half hour. Then I'm bored with the parade. Any parade. That's a lot of time.
They do a really good job of getting everything you want to see towards the start of the parade. I don't think I've made it to the end of the parade in several years, and I've been there 3 hours.
Do they throw the candy like the kids love?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
That's the best. Even adults love that. I love that. You give me a good Tootsie Roll on a hot day? Absolutely.
I've got a 4-year-old. She goes and retrieves it for me, brings it back. I take
you don't
half.
even get up off the curb? You're making your 4-year-old do the heavy lifting? Come on.
It's
All
a
right.
win-win. She wants to. It's good.
Absolutely. So check that out. There's a lot of other events. You and I were talking the other day. There's a flyer that's going around. That has
Milwaukee Downtown made a flyer, like a
have you
big
seen this?
calendar. It's very useful.
It's got everything in the city that's happening, like through September or October. I mean, every detail, every location. Who
Matt
did,
Dorner, was that his idea?
They've done a.
Oh
they
my goodness!
constantly improve that every couple of years.
Yeah,
so I've
this
been really
year's
impressed.
was very useful.
All right, we approved of what you brought us today. You will be back next Thursday if you needed that.
I appreciate the validation.
Absolutely. You can find his great work at urbanmilwaukee.com. Kristin, we're going to be back tomorrow. Maybe a special sort of version of the Friday show. Yeah, we'll just leave it at that.
Teaser.
That is a tease.
Make them more and more.
Thanks for listening. Stick around for Jessica and Greg and the crew and all the great guests they have. Before we get to any of that, the news is next right here on 620 WTMJ.
This Friday, you need to check out a webinar I'm co-hosting with Annex Wealth Management's Chief Economist, Brian Jacobson. Don't miss it this Friday, June 6th at 9 a.m. for an instant insight after the jobs report is released.